Oh, sorry. I was just wondering. You like those glasses? I don't know what I was thinking. Should I do the? This is the hard decisions that you make when you're in self-isolation, quasi-quarantine mode. That? Should I do the? How about this? Well, just saddle on up there, sonny boy. Get yourself a. Or how about this? The cool guy. I generally listen to, public radio, the university station, Jazz Hour. I'm just going to go without any of them. Just going to go with these crazy glasses. I got your essays. Great job. Excellent participation. You guys are all actively engaged in online learning, and I hope it's going okay for you. Did a good job. I have only looked at 6 of those student essays. I'll look at the rest in the next day and a half, and have those graded for you. So you finished your essays on the subject of death, and you took it on nicely, did a great job, and I really appreciate that. I also wanted to let you know that even though it's hard to teach grammar, I did provide, there's a new discussions post for you on D2L, and on that discussions post, look at this, I even learned how to create a text box, and I can put this up here so that you can read it now. There's a document that's on the discussions post that you can find it, and there's information there. You're going to have to teach yourself about the participial phrase. There's 2 documents there. One teaches about the phrase, the other one has this, which is a template for you to write 3 extra credit sentences of your own. If you do them correctly, put them on the discussions post, I will give you 10 extra credit points for learning about and properly executing the participial phrase. This is the learning document that you'll find on there. I recommend that you read this. It doesn't take you long. It's 2 pages, one like this and another one, and you learn a lot. You don't have to do the exercises on this document. This is the actual extra credit. It's marked. You'll see it. So we're moving on to the next unit of study, and that is the mind. These are the readings that you'll find on the mind. If you go to D2L content, this is the top folder now. These are the 3 that I want to do, and I might add another one. The Oedipus Complex by Sigmund Freud. I want to talk about that in just a minute. The Allegory of the Cave by Plato, our favorite Greek philosopher. And the Jungian Model of the Psyche by none other than Carl Jung. These are going to be 3 entrees into the mind. I will put up other documents. I won't necessarily say anything about them. These I'm going to say a few things about. So you have an essay that's due, I believe, in 2 weeks on the subject of the mind. And I'm sorry, this document I did not reverse, so it's going to look weird to you. But this is your first one. This is the first reading, and I'll send you the topics soon. This is the Oedipus Complex by Sigmund Freud. It's really fascinating. And if you know anything about it, you probably do. You probably someone just came in here. What's that? Disturbing. You never disturb a man who's on semi-self quarantine. Freud's Oedipus Complex. This is a small section of a larger work published in the year 1900 under the title of The Interpretation of Dreams. This section that you're reading is called the Oedipus Complex. Freud wrote this piece 120 years ago, and it was shocking in its day. It was disturbing to many people. It still is disturbing to many people, the implications of what he calls his discovery. He believes he discovered something about human beings, something that had been overlooked or had not been investigated prior to his work in what was starting to be known as psychoanalysis. He was trained as a neuroscientist, trained as a neurobiologist, and then he turned his attention to the psyche and started seeing a lot of people in Vienna, Austria, where he was raised up. Very bright man, of course, of many talents, and took as his chief interest the human being. How do we tick? What makes us work emotionally? Why do people develop symptoms that are so inhibiting that they cannot leave their rooms for fear of something happening? Why do people have the same thought recurring in their mind over and over again? Why do we have dreams that we can't account for? Why are we unhappy and miserable and barely keeping ourselves together? How do things go so awry? And he found out that that just because we are the way we are constituted, not that anybody does anything to us, not that we do anything wrong particularly, it's just a state of conflict, tension, and some amount of pain that we feel just by nature of being human. And he traces this to our upbringing, as you all know. Those of you who know about Freud will maybe equate him with the guy who says everything that is important to us happens in our childhood. That's kind of true. And what happens to us is basically our psyches happen to us. We didn't choose to be constituted the way the human being is. We just have to deal with it. One of the things is, in the primary nucleus of a family, a child has strong, very powerful attachments to both parents if they're around. So imagine that there's a nuclear family that is intact, and there's a little boy, and he has a profound attachment to his parents because they're the ones who teach him everything, give him everything, nurture him. What will happen naturally, according to Freud, not wrong, not bad. What happens naturally is the young boy at around age 4, between 4, 5, and 6 years of age, develops a very profound attachment to his mother, and at the same time develops a growing hatred, jealousy, and spiteful attitude toward the father, because the father is now a competitor in the boy's desired possession of the mother. The same thing happens in reverse for a girl. A little girl becomes profoundly attached to her father, and at the same time that attachment grows, her hatred of her mother grows. A very powerful positive attachment to the parent of the opposite sex, at the same time a very powerful hatred of and desire to do harm to the other parent. None of this is acknowledged at the conscious level in the mind of the child. Years later, if a child who went through this experience is asked about it, he or she might claim to have no knowledge of it, that it's absurd, that whoever said that about him or her is absolutely wrong. The reason that happens is because these occurrences, these psychological and emotional things are happening below the level of our awareness when we're children. We don't know that it's happening to us. We're just kids. And we have these feelings, we can't say them, or maybe sometimes we do, spontaneously the way that children do without any knowledge. But oftentimes we don't acknowledge it when we're kids because it would be icky to, maybe. And there's a powerful force in life, it's called repression. And that is when we have disagreeable feelings that are coming up inside ourselves, feelings that put us at odds with the current moral structure of our society. We repress the content of those feelings. We actively forget it without even knowing that we're doing it. It happens spontaneously as a way for us to avoid having inner turmoil and conflict. We repress things. So I'm giving you the basic outline of it. I'm already at 9 minutes and 40 seconds, and I'm going to stop. I just want you to read Freud's Oedipus complex. It's a fascinating little bit of writing. There's a lot to say about it. I wish we could have a class discussion about it because it's really full of many things. Maybe I'll holler back at you about it again later. All right. Please read that within the next 3, 4, 5, 6 days.